Hi, welcome back. My name is Emmy and I am a professional hairstylist, a coffee lover, even though I'm not drinking coffee at the moment, and a beauty enthusiast, and I got married. And today I'm just going to talk about what I did and didn't do beauty-wise before my wedding. And there's more to unpack than you'd think. Let's get into it. I'm gonna attempt to do my makeup while I talk about this because I'm just awkward, so that's what we're doing. So I'm starting out with my Fenty Ease Drops. This is just gonna be like a finger blended look because I need something to do with my hands. So, getting married is a wonderful thing. I'm enjoying being married so far. There's a lot of pressure for women to look a certain way on their wedding day. I'm sure some of this pressure exists for our male counterparts as well, but there's a weird amount of pressure to be like beautiful and a bride. And I really, really hate being told what to do. So I wanted to feel beautiful, and whether or not I looked beautiful to the public, couldn't care less. It took me a long time to get there, you know, like having an eating disorder a couple times and just being really upset at the world, at everyone else I know that's had an eating disorder, and just how messed up that is, but that's not the topic of today's video. So I did do some beauty things just so that I felt comfortable and beautiful on my wedding day, just for myself. So the first thing I did is I was super consistent with my skincare, like really consistent. I didn't change anything. I didn't bring anything new. I didn't try any like new masks or anything. I was just super, super consistent for the minimum of 3 weeks prior to my wedding. I also scheduled like certain skincare type things. Like I put on my calendar what days I was gonna do a cleansing mask, what days I was gonna do a hydrating mask. I had a schedule for, you know, my alternate days that I do acid in the evening. I was extremely consistent, and my anxiety stems from me not being able to control things. So for me, that was a great way to have something that was in my control, was to be consistent with my skincare. My skin didn't look its best on my wedding day, but I still felt beautiful, and I knew I did everything I could to make sure that my skin, you know, looked like my skin. And that's what I did. Another kind of skincare thing I did was I did a lot of facial massage, and quite consistently leading up to the wedding. I did gua sha pretty much every day. I did get like a new face roller type thing kind of right before the wedding. And I've been using that a lot ever since. So yeah, I just did a lot of facial massage. You know, when I cleansed, I really took my time. Just a lot of facial manipulation. And it was great. It was, not only does it kind of, you know, help give you some definition when you're consistent with that, but it created time for self-care for me that I couldn't, you know, I mean, I could say no to it, but I didn't. So I'm really glad that I included that heavily and consistently leading up to my wedding, because it put me in a really good frame of mind. It was great. I also kind of did a similar thing with my body care. I was really consistent with dry brushing leading up to the wedding. I mean, my dress, and specifically like my legs and arms. My dress didn't really show my legs, but it did show my arms. And so I wanted the skin on my arms to be smooth. I didn't want to have, you know, much KP or bumps or anything. And again, it just created a good moment of self-care leading up to my wedding. So that was really great. I was also super consistent with body scrubs. I normally am, because I just have really dry, scaly, you know, body skin, and I was just like super extra consistent. I think I like scrubbed down my body every single time I showered for the 3 weeks before my wedding, where normally I would do that maybe every other shower, you know, to like really scrub down. Another thing I did before my wedding, and with great intention, is I gave myself kind of body neutral mantras to repeat to myself, because there is so much fat phobia around weddings. I could probably make a separate video just ranting about this, but this was a huge hurdle I had to personally kind of face and get over, specifically internalized fat phobia towards myself, which is just, it blows my mind that's even a thing. But I am a mid-sized to plus-size person. I live in a slightly larger body, and I had someone, when we initially got engaged, I had someone ask me, "Oh, what diet are you gonna do for your wedding?" Excuse me? No. Thankfully, I am in a very mentally healthy space where I could just kind of be like, no, I don't diet. That's not healthy for me and my mind, and dieting is not healthy for my life. And so I was able to gently shut that down and move on, and it didn't affect me in a great way. It didn't send me into a spiral. It didn't send me into a relapse, honestly. Like, you know, there was a time where that probably would have had that effect on me, and it just didn't. And so I'm really proud of where I am in my mental health in regards to fat phobia in the world and the expectation in diet culture in the world. But to have it so internalized and so deeply ingrained that because I was a bride getting married, I had to lose weight. That was a problem. That is problematic. So I just gave myself these really body neutral mantras. I would just tell myself, I am enough, I am strong, my body is functioning, my body is surviving. I would give myself these things. I wasn't trying to just like radically love my body, because my body right now is different from what it was a year and a half ago, because it has survived a pandemic. A global pandemic where it's shut down my business multiple times. So it's not the same as it was a year and a half ago, because it survived things. And so I wasn't trying to radically love my body into submission, I guess. I was just trying to accept it. And so I had these very neutral mantras that I gave myself. And I'll get a little bit more into kind of the other side of that coin. And when I get into the list of things I didn't do before my wedding, intentionally didn't do. But one thing I did do was give myself neutral affirmations about my worth and my strength and my abilities and capabilities. And that was wonderful. I'm really glad that I did that. Another thing I did leading up to the wedding was listen to really happy music. We didn't have a DJ for our wedding, and so I listened to our wedding playlists a lot, and I still do. And because they just brought me into this happy place of imagining our day and imagining how much fun we were gonna have with all of our loved ones, just, you know, playing lawn games and drinking wine and having a grand old time. And so that is something that I did. I listened to just happy music with great intention. Yes. We were also kind of cautious for like the week leading up to the wedding about the TV shows that we watched. We just didn't watch anything too heavy. Kept things light and happy leading up to our happy, blessed day. Not blessed, we're not particularly religious, but you know. Things I didn't do leading up to my wedding. I did not crash diet. No, thank you. Not for me. I also didn't do certain forms of exercise. As I discussed, I was processing quite a bit of internalized fat phobia while prepping for my wedding. And specifically running felt like a diet cultural-y, you know what I'm saying, a diet culture kind of trick of trying to kind of crash diet and crash exercise before an event to like lose a few pounds. No. So yeah, I think the last time I went for a run was in February. It is now May. I went for a run a couple of days ago and it felt really good. And I'm excited to come back to that without these expectations and pressures, because I do enjoy running. I enjoy the endorphin release. I enjoy the challenge of seeing what my body's capable of and watching my body build endurance as I run more and more consistently. I really do enjoy running. I was not in a mental space to enjoy running prior to my wedding. And it was an exercise that I just couldn't partake in. And that is okay. So I did really gentle movement. I did consistent movement. I joined the Become Project, which you've heard me talk about on here. And honestly, that kind of got me through just having that safe, neutral accepting, inclusive space to go to for joyful movement that celebrated my strength, got my heart rate up, and didn't make me feel like I had to change. So I didn't crash diet. I didn't crash exercise in any way, shape, or form before my wedding. And I'm really, really proud of that. 'Cause you don't need to. You're perfect just the way you are. You know, if you're marrying someone, they are accepting you for all that you are. And if there is an expectation for you to change or look a certain way on your wedding day, like you got to think long and hard about that. And I know that my spouse loves and accepts me at any size because he loves and accepts me for me. So there was no pressure from him. Why should I put pressure on myself? It's just society's messed up standards. I could talk about this all day. I'm gonna, okay. Okay, something else I didn't do before the wedding. I still need to like put more makeup on. Something else I didn't do before the wedding was fantasize about the day itself. So I was looking forward to the day. I was excited about the day, but I wasn't overly fantasizing exact moments that were gonna happen. Like I didn't fantasize about walking down the aisle and what people's faces were gonna be and what their reaction was gonna be or anything like that. I didn't even really have kind of planned out like specific pictures I wanted or anything. I didn't overly think it, because if I overly thought it and overly planned it, I wasn't gonna be able to be present in the moment. And that's just how my brain works. For some people, they like to have that one planned out moment and then it happens and it's like your dream coming true. You know, that's fantastic for a lot of people. For me, that would give me a lot of anxiety. It would give me something to fixate on, which is bad news bears for me. And it was something I didn't want to do before the wedding, was to fantasize about specifics of the day. And I'm really glad that I kind of made that intention, and I think it paid off, because it was a wonderful day and it was so much fun, and I was really present in the moment with all of my loved ones and my spouse, and it was just perfect. It was so perfect because I didn't have any other expectations than to just be present and enjoy. And those might seem like vague expectations, but for me, those kept me sane and grounded. And it was great. Yeah. So the last thing that I didn't do leading up to my wedding was consume too much fashion content. There's a lot of, fashion YouTubers that I follow, and they were releasing a lot of wonderful videos, and a lot of it was just a little bit triggering for me. And so I saved them, I saved those videos to a watch later list, and I've caught up on them now, and I'm so grateful for those YouTubers' content. And it totally you know, fed me for where I'm at now. But leading up to my wedding, it just took me to a slightly aspirational place rather than a place of self-acceptance. And in normal times, not pre-wedding, I would have enough, you know, I have enough control to kind of be like, I'm enough. But the pressure of weddings gets to you. And so it was just a little bit much for me to consume that kind of content leading up to my wedding. And it's just not the way I wanted to spend my time. And so I watched a lot of like minimalist content, makeup tutorial content. And honestly, I rewatched like TV shows that I enjoy because I'm an anxious person. And so rewatching TV shows is a total like anxiety comfort thing. And it was exactly what I needed. I did it. I did my makeup and I talked about what I didn't do leading up to my wedding. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please subscribe. Not all of my content is wedding content. I'm pretty sure this is the last video, but I do vlogs, a little bit of fashion. I just like to be what I see missing in the world, and I love simple, glowy makeup. Hope you have a great day. Thank you again.